no work that is. Get on the same page.
Erev Tov.
Nope.
Better not.
Is Lisa?
Yeah. Erev Tov, everyone. We would like to get started, so if you would please take a seat, we'd like to begin our service.
Good evening.
It will in a minute.
1 second. Yes.
Good evening. It's good to see everybody. Thank you. As I said, for Rosh Hashanah, I am the opening act. I don't have the stool.
You can stand in front of the podium.
Stand in front. You can all see me. You don't need to see me, just hear me. Okay, my housekeeping. Everybody knows where the exits are. I always want to tell you because it's very deceiving in this room. Back door, front door, stairs. Thank you. Everybody, please keep your badges on. The guards will be asking you, and I will be asking you. If I can't see them, I will ask you for the badge. Thank you. We do have guards on the premises. Everything is safe and secure. You're welcome. I do want to let you know that tomorrow morning you cannot park in the upper parking lot. The school is in session. Please do not park in the upper parking lot. The lower lot will be for the handicapped and the older people that need assistance. If you need assistance and you don't have a handicap, please just let me know. It won't be a problem otherwise on the street. Thank you. Is there anything else? Please silence your phones. If you have any concerns about safety or security, please bring it to my attention. I will be around all evening. And we have 2 guards on the premises, so you can always ask them. Thank you, and I'll leave it to Miriam.
Our service starts on page 14 of your Machzor, your High Holy Day prayer book. Yom Kippur, the Jewish people's festival of the soul, and Kol Nidre, its sacred portal, a night of deep emotions, a night, as the psalmist wrote, to rejoice with trembling. We rejoice at the sound of Kol Nidre, rhythmic words of release from vows, oaths, and promises to God we failed to keep. We tremble at the melody, music of spiritual amazement. It fills us with awe as we stand before God and Torah. We rejoice that we stand together, strengthened by community in this hour of shared weakness and humility. We tremble, for tonight we confess our flaws, admit our imperfection, and acknowledge a power far beyond our understanding. We rejoice that we commit ourselves to great endeavors because we feel so deeply and think so nobly. We tremble, for we find that our ideals are far greater than our ability. Our promises surpass our might. We rejoice in the freedom that is Kol Nidre's true gift, the freedom to begin a new year without fear of failure, to aspire to be God's image in the world. We tremble because we are mortal. We rejoice in our gratitude for life. We rejoice with trembling and enter Kol Nidre to face our humanity. We turn to page 9 for the lighting of the Yom Tov lights. And I would like to ask Evelyn Bell to come for that honor.
Shalom HaKippurim.
Shalom HaKippurim.
Let's do the blessing together as a community. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehad likneh shel Yom HaKippurim.
We turn to page 15 and read together in the middle of the page. Kol Nidre, a chant that begins in a whisper and rises to a cry. On this night of promises remembered, each soul in solitude communes with the soul of the universe. God, from this day of atonement to the next, may we reach it in peace. All Israel makes these vows to turn from wrong, dishonesty, and greed, to walk in the path of justice and right. Yet we know our weakness, how prone we are to fail. Help us to keep our word. Help us to act with humility and integrity. We seek pardon and forgiveness. We seek your radiance and light. We take a moment to think about our humanity, our humility, our joy, and our seeking God's presence in these coming 25 hours. As we approach the Col Nidre, the ark will be opened. Our Torahs will be taken out, and I invite our past temple presidents to come to the bima.
Not now. Instrumental Col Nidre.
Okay. After, not yet, I guess. Sorry.
So first we have a moment of meditation on Col Nidre as we listen to a completely instrumental version.
I don't see her. No. Well, I had put my things there. I now invite our past presidents to come to the bima as the Torahs are taken from the ark. And as the Torahs are taken, I ask you to please rise in body or spirit. With one voice, assembled sages past and present declare, all may pray as one on this night of repentance. Let none be excluded from our community of prayer. With one voice, God and congregation proclaim, all may pray as one on this day of return. Let all find a place in this sacred assembly.
Col Nidre ve'esare v'charame ve'koname ve'chinuye ve'kinuse
All vows, resolves, and commitments, vows of abstinence and terms of obligation, sworn promises and oaths of dedication, that we promise and swear to God and take upon ourselves from this day of atonement until next day of atonement. May it find us well. We regret them, and for all of them we repent. Let all of them be discarded and forgiven, abolished and undone. They are not valid, and they are not binding. Our vows shall not be vows. Our resolves shall not be resolves. And our oaths, they shall not be oaths.
Col Nidre ve'esarei ve'charamei ve'konamei ve'chinoyei ve'kinosei
continue on page 20. All shall be forgiven, the entire community of Israel, and the stranger who lives in their midst, for all have gone astray in error.
ונצלח לכל עדת בני ישראל ולגר הגר בתוכם כי לכל העם איש גגר ונצלח לכל עדת בני ישראל ולגר הגר בתוכם כי לכל העם איש גגר.
Moses prayed to God, "As you have been faithful to this people ever since Egypt, please forgive their failings now, in keeping with your boundless love."
And God responded,
ויאמר אדוני סלחתי כדבריך ויאמר אדוני סלחתי כדבריך ויאמר אדוני סלחתי כדבריך.
And now we will return the Torahs to the ark, and we recite Shechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
We will continue on page 22 with the Baruch Hu, our call to worship.
As soon as the last Torah is returned to the ark. No, they are returned. Ah, Mark.
Mark,
No, it's just stuck.
left side.
Left side. It's stuck on the Torah.
Close. Try again. There you go.
And now, for the Baruch Hu, page 22.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
You may be seated. If at any time during our services over the next day we are standing and you feel the need to sit, please feel free to do so. We continue on page 24. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your great name fills the universe with majestic might. Your word creates twilight and dusk, as your wisdom opens the gates of night. Your discernment separates the changing seasons and causes the passage of time. The stars arrayed across the sky reveal your design. You roll out the cycle of darkness and light, shaping day and night.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני ברוך הוא ברוך שמו
Now that we have addressed God's physical presence in our universe, we go inward to God's love for us on page 26. Love beyond all space and time. Your love enfolds your people Israel. We receive it in your teaching, your gift of Torah, sacred obligations, discipline, and law. So let us speak these teachings when we lie down and rise up, and find joy forever in your Torah and mitzvot. They are the very essence of our life, ours to ponder and study all our days. May we never lose or be unworthy of your love.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת
continue on page 30.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך ושאתם להות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך ובטאתם על מזוזות ביתך
We continue on page 32.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם
We continue on page 38 responsively. Truth and faith. These are fundamental to our existence. God alone is their source, and we are Israel, a people of God. Everyone?
Our sovereign saves us from tyranny, redeems us from its violence through countless wonders, from its brutality through great feats beyond measure.
We are Israel, a people of God, the giver of life, who would not let our feet give way, the maker of miracles for us against Pharaoh, of signs and portents in the land of Egypt, the one who brought our people Israel from its midst to enduring freedom. Our sages taught it is proper to mention the Exodus from Egypt in our morning prayers and also at night. We celebrate the going out from Egypt in the morning light, full of confidence and vigor as we enter the new day. But in the evening, weary from the day's exertions, cast down and fearful at the coming of the night, what can the Exodus teach us then? Our nighttime prayer brings hope and trust in the future. As God did not abandon our people long ago through the long, dark night of exile, so the Holy One will be with us in time to come. To stand by the one you love, that is the true essence of faithfulness, the meaning of emunah. So it is written in the Psalms, to proclaim your kindness in the morning and your faithfulness in the nights. Sing with joy in the mornings of your life, when night surrounds you and the world seems beautiful and good, and in the evenings of your life, when you dwell in sorrow and in the world seems dark. Do not despair. We continue on page 40 with Mi Chamocha.
מי כמוך בנים אדוני, מי כמוך נטע בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף בלב. מי כמוך בנים אדוני, מי כמוך נטע בקודש, no אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
We turn to our nighttime prayer, the Hashkiveinu, a prayer that asks God to protect us while we sleep at night. It's as if we send our souls to the dry cleaner for pressing and cleaning, and hope that in the morning when we wake up, they're pressed, fresh, with creases where they belong and not where they don't. And so we turn to Hashkiveinu, asking God to spread over us a canopy of peace and renew us to life in the day to come. Hashkiveinu, page 42.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu, leShalom. Ve'ha'amidehu shomrenu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlom lecha. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu, leShalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
We turn to page
Baruch
45.
atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai. You spread over us a canopy of peace, a shelter of shalom over all Israel, your people, and over Jerusalem.
Now we turn to page 45. Ki vayom hazeh, for on this day atonement shall be made for you to purify you from all your wrongs, and pure you shall be in the presence of Adonai.
Ki vayom hazeh yechaper alechem letaher etchem mikoch achotechem. Ay, 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 יתגדע ויתקדש מרבה. אמן. בעלמא דברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון ויומכון וחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלו בזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמרה במלוך. וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם יתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל לשמי קודשה, בריחו לעילה ולעילה, מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירם לעמה וימרור אמן.
We rise for the Amida, starting on page 46.
Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ufi Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Leah ve'Elohei Rachel Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor ve'lo
the rest of the Amida. We are on page 78.
בספר חיים ברכה ושלום ופרנסה טובה ניזכר ונקראתך לפניך.
mimrefi vehekyon libin lefanecha, Adonai tzuri v'goali. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, soul of eternity, my rock and my redeemer. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, amen. May the maker of peace above make peace for us, for all Israel, and all who dwell on earth. And we say, amen. Amen. We now turn to the short confession. We're starting slowly, a little bit at a time, as if we dip our toe into the lake and approach God this first time on Yom Kippur. The Vidui starts on page 82.
Eloheinu, Elohe Avotenu, Tavo, Tavo lefanecha, Tefilateinu, Ve'al titalam, mitchinatenu, she'en anachnu, azefanimu keshe'oref, lomar lefanecha, Adonai Eloheinu, v'Elohei Avotenu, tzadikim anachnu, v'lo chatanu, anachnu chatanu. Ay, 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 Dibanu dofi, He'evinu, V'hirshanu, Zadnu, Chamasnu, Tafanu sheker, ay, 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 ay.
We're at the bottom of page 84. You know the secrets of the universe and the secrets of the human heart. You know and understand us, for you examine our inner lives. Nothing is concealed from you, nothing hidden from your sight. Eternal One, our God and God of our ancestors, we pray that this be your will. Forgive all our wrongs. Pardon us for every act of injustice. Help us atone for all our moral failures. Page 86.
החטא שחטאנו לפניך בזדון ובשגגה, והחטא שחטאנו לפניך בדיבור פה.
The ways we have wronged you deliberately and by mistake, and harm we have caused in your world through the words of our mouths.
החטא שחטאנו לפניך באימות הלב, והחטא שחטאנו לפניך בטיפשות פה.
The ways we have wronged you by hardening our hearts, and harm we have caused in your world through careless speech.
החטא שחטאנו לפניך בכחש ובכזב, והחטא שחטאנו לפניך ברכילות.
The ways we have wronged you through lies and deceit, and harm we have caused in your world through gossip and rumor.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בפלילות, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בזלזול הורים ומורים.
The ways we have wronged you by judging others unfairly, and harm we have caused in your world through disrespect to parents and teachers.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בווידוי פה, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בכל נעת ריח.
The ways we have wronged you through insincere apologies, and harm we have caused in your world by mistreating a friend or neighbor.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בחוזק יד, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך במשא ובמתן.
The ways we have wronged you through violence and abuse, and harm we have caused in your world through dishonesty in business.
We continue silently with a personal al chet over page 88. We sin against you when we hurt one another. For our failures of love, Adonai, we seek forgiveness. For exploiting another for our own pleasure, and for the wounds we cause through betrayal and deception. For withholding affection from those we claim to love, and for using love to control our spouses and partners, our children and parents. For abandoning friends and siblings whose love has sustained us, and for neglecting those who love us when they need us most. For harboring in our relationships mistrust, boredom, and disloyalty, and for rejecting our partner's efforts at repair and renewal. For possessiveness, jealousy, avarice, and for lashing out in anger at those who are closest to us.
We take a moment from pages 92 to 95 for personal and silent vidui. It is my prayer that through these next few hours that we are together, you will come back to page 93 often, because it is difficult for us to be kind to ourselves. It is much easier for us to pound our chests and beat ourselves up for all that we have done wrong, but we tend not to give ourselves credit for the many good deeds we do throughout the year. We continue on page 96.
יעלה תחנוננו מערב ויבוא שבתנו מבוקר ויראה רינוננו עד ערב
יעלה קולנו מערב ויבוא צדקתנו מבוקר ויראה פדיוננו עד ערב עד ערב
יעלה עינוינו מערב ויבוא שיחתנו מבוקר ויראה נאקתנו עד ערב עד ערב איי איי יעלה מנושנו מערב, ויבוא למענו מבוקר, ויראה כיבורנו עד ערב, עד ערב.
יעלה ישענו מערב, ויבוא טהרנו מבוקר, ויראה חילוננו עד ערב, עד ערב.
יעלה זיכרוננו מערב, ויבוא ויודענו מבוקר, ויראה דרכנו עד ערב, עד ערב.
יעלה דרכנו מערב,
ויבוא גילנו מבוקר, ויראה בקשתנו עד ערב, עד יעלה ענקתנו מערב, ויבוא אליך מבוקר, ויראה אלינו עד ערב, עד ערב.
Page 98. Hear our call, Adonai, our God. Show us compassion. Accept our prayer with love and goodwill. Take us back, Adonai. Let us come back to you. Renew our days as in the past. Hear our words, Adonai. Understand our unspoken thoughts. May the speech of our mouth and our heart's quiet prayer be acceptable to you, Adonai, our rock and our Redeemer.
Shema Kolenu Adonai Eloheinu Chos v'rachem aleinu v'kabel berachamim וברצון את תפילתנו. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה. חדש, חדש ימינו
Shema Kolenu Adonai Eloheinu Chus v'rachem aleinu v'kabel berachamim Hashkiveinu Adonai v'nashuva Kaddish Kaddish Yameinu Kekedem.
And now we join together. Shema Koleinu Adonai Eloheinu Chos berachem aleinu vekabel berachamim וברצון את תפילתנו. השיבנו אדוני אליך ולשובה. חדש חדש ימינו כקדם.
Please join me at the top of page 1. Nope, not yet.
אל תשליכנו מלפניך, היי היי היי, ברוח קודשך, אל תיקח ממנו, היי היי היי, אל תשליכנו מלפניך, היי היי היי, ברוח קודשך, אל תיקח ממנו, היי היי היי, אל תשליכנו לעת זקנה, היי היי היי, כי יכלות כוחנו, אל תעזבנו, היי היי היי, אל תשליכנו לעת זקנה, היי היי היי, כי יכלות כוחנו, אל תעזבנו, היי היי היי, אל תעזבנו, היי היי היי, אדוני אלוהינו, אל תרחק ממנו, היי היי היי, אל תעזבנו, היי היי היי, אדוני אלוהינו, אל תרחק ממנו, היי היי היי, היי היי היי,
Please join me at the top of page 100. God of forgiveness, we come before you in need of compassion. At Sinai, you spoke words that guide our lives to this day. But our ancestors lost faith in you, lost hope in their Redeemer. With one voice they had promised, we will do and obey. And yet, stiff-necked, they broke their word, adoring an idol of gold. How wondrous your compassion in the face of their rebellion, your forgiveness in that moment of human weakness and doubt. We too have broken promises to you. We too worship the work of our own hands. We too make of gold a god, and we too forsake your word. At Sinai, you revealed 13 attributes of mercy. These aspects of your nature, your very essence, we now recall.
Adonai, Adonai, Erachom v'chanon, Erev חיים ורב חסד באמת. נושא חסד לאלפים, נושא עוון ופשע וחטאה ונקה.
Adonai, Adonai, Erachum v'chanun, Erech apayim, v'rav chesed v'emet, notzer chesed la'alafim, nosei avon v'fesha, v'chata'a v'nakeh.
Adonai, Adonai, Erachom v'chanun, Erech apayim, v'rav chesed v'emet, notzer chesed la'alafim, notzer avon v'fesha, v'chata'a
We continue responsively on page 103. Consider the clay in the potter's hand, stretched and rolled as the artist desires. So are we in your hand, our loving protector.
Look to the covenant, not our imperfection.
Consider the stone in the mason's hand, broken or kept whole as the stonecutter sees fit. So are we in your hand, creator of life and death.
Look to the covenant, not our imperfection.
Consider the iron in the welder's hand, held to the flame or removed at will. So are we in your hand, provider for the poor and afflicted.
Look to the covenant,
Not our imperfection.
Consider the helm at the seafarer's hand, steering or drifting as the sailor wills it. So are we in your hand, our God of goodness and forgiveness.
Look to the covenant, not our imperfection.
Consider the glass in the glazier's hand, rounded and melted as the artist desires. So are we in your hand, the one who pardons our errors and our wrongdoing.
Look to the covenant, not our imperfection.
We continue on page 106.
כי אנו עמך ואתה אלוהינו, אנו בניך ואתה אבינו, אנו עבדיך ואתה אדוננו, אנו קהלך ואתה חלקנו, אנו נחלתך ואתה גורלנו, אנו צאנך ואתה רוענו, אנו חמך ואתה נוטרנו, אנו פעולתך ואתה נוטרנו,
Avinu Malkeinu, page 114.
Avinu Malkeinu Shema Kolenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, hear our voice.
Avinu Malkeinu Chatanu Lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you.
Avinu Malkeinu Chamo Aleinu Ve'al Olaleinu V'tapenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and on our families.
Avinu Malkeinu Kale Dever V'cherev V'ra'av Me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger.
Avinu Malkeinu Kale Kotzar Umastin Me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror.
Avinu Malkeinu Kodveinu B'Sefer Chaim Tovim.
Avinu Malkeinu, enter our names in the book of lives well lived.
Avinu Malkeinu Chadesh Aleinu Shana Tova.
Avinu Malkeinu, renew for us a year of goodness.
We continue silently until the bottom of page 115.
Avinu Malkeinu Shema Kolenu Chus V'rachem Aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice, treat us with tender compassion.
Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu. Chanenu v'hanenu ki ein banu masih. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed ve'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu. Chanenu v'hanenu ki ein banu masih. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed ve'hoshienu. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed ve'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu.
We continue with Kaddish Shalom.
Kaddish Shalom is not in your machzor, so it has no page number. Just listen and enjoy.
Yitkata v'yitkata shemei Rabbah. בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחייתך ובית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם עולמי עלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה לעילה ולילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה בנחמתה דמירן בעלמא תושבחתה בנחמתה דמירן בעלמא ויאמרו אמן תתקבל צלותהון וברכותך ישראל קדם אבוהון דיבישמיה 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 ויאמרו אמן יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים וחיים עלינו עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל ישראל ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן.
Shana Tova to all of you, to all of us, from wherever you are in the world. I see we have in our virtual congregation people from all over the world. On Zoom, I know we have the Bay Area, we have other places I know, but welcome to all who are joining us in our congregation here at TBT, on Zoom, on Facebook, on YouTube, and beyond. They say you should never go shopping on an empty stomach. Being hungry can lead you in directions you may later regret. We've all been there and know that it's hard to resist the urge to dive in and fill our baskets that tempt us with items that tempt us. Tonight, I'd like to talk to you about hunger, predicting that you are not yet hungry from your Yom Kippur fast, but hoping that by the conclusion of this holy day, the hunger that you feel will propel you into the year ahead in ways to feed your body, your mind, and your soul. Physical hunger. Dylan of Kentucky writes, "It was the best time when my mom had a job. I actually enjoyed life. I used to get to do whatever. Now I get up in the morning and put on my shoes like anybody else, but when I get to school, I think about losing our house. My mom got laid off from her job at the school district. It really gets to me that they let her go. She'd been there 20 years and is more qualified than a lot of teachers. The only work my mom can now get these days is substitute teaching. It's part-time and not enough to pay for the basics. The fact that my 84-year-old grandpa is keeping us from losing our house pretty much gets to me. Before I go to bed at night, I actually pray that we won't lose our home. I have a lot of weight on my shoulders for a 14-year-old. I've had to sacrifice a lot. I'm actually wearing my mom's pants right now because we can't afford to buy me clothes. I can't take the college classes I qualified for because we can't afford them. My mom doesn't know it, but I quit baseball so she wouldn't have to spend money on a uniform. And our food stamps have gone from $300 to $200 a month. It's not a good feeling when I'm sitting in the house eating chips and canned meat that are probably older than me, and my friends are off playing ball and going to steakhouses when they win. I feel like I'm not normal. Some months we run out of food, and I've gone days without sleep because of hunger. The next day I go to class, pinching myself to stay awake. Being hungry affects your appearance and how you act. When I'm hungry, I'm depressed. But I continue to work as hard as I can in school. I've wanted to become a surgeon since the 4th grade, and I keep reminding myself that if I work hard in life, I can get there. Then I can buy my mom a new house. It's not fair that we or anyone else have to go through this. You shouldn't have to worry about where your next meal is going to come from, especially for people with kids. Dylan's story is not taken from a fictional novel. It's the real-life drama of kids in every state of our country. And while we don't live with the old reminder to finish everything that's on our plates because there are starving children in, name the country, most, if not all of us, can say that the last meal we ate before coming to services tonight consisted of more than canned meat and stale potato chips. Our Torah implores us to feed the hungry. We are to leave a corner of our field unharvested so that those in need can fill the most basic of human needs, to find nourishment and sustenance. On Pesach, towards the beginning of our Seder, the Haggadah dictates, "This is the bread of affliction that our ancestors ate in the land of Egypt. Let all who are hungry come and eat. Let all who are in need come and share our Passover." The passage in the Haggadah is not written in Hebrew. It is specifically written in Aramaic, which was used as the common street language so that all could understand the importance of the mitzvah to provide food for all. Our High Holy Day confession, said as a community, includes our admission of sinning with food and drink. Not only is this to include our misuse of that which enters our body in harming our physical existence, but by withholding food and drink from those in need. The challenge feels overwhelming for us. How can we as individuals work to overcome the problem of hunger in our world? Here's a story of one person who took the first step and drew in his community in an effort to feed the hungry. Rosa's Fresh Pizza offered a taste of New York-style pizza to the people of Philadelphia. But that's not all they served. Rosa's and their customers teamed up to feed the city a daily taste of hope and kindness. Philadelphia is one of the largest cities in the country that is poor. And it's the city with the worst deep poverty rate in the U.S., with roughly 185,000 people, including 60,000 kids, living on incomes below half of the federal poverty line. With that, homelessness is on the rise, and the city doesn't have enough resources to be there for everyone. Heavy, right? Well, this particular story takes a happy turn. At Rosa's, customers could pay it forward by pre-purchasing slices for people in need. Owner Mason Wortman, who left his Wall Street desk job to open the shop, said that Pay It Forward Pizza started with one customer, $1, and one Post-it note. The customer was inspired by an Italian coffee house practice called Caffè Sorpresa, suspended coffee, by which customers could pre-purchase cups of coffee for less fortunate customers. Wortman wrote the purchase on a Post-it note and slapped it on the wall behind the register to be redeemed by the next homeless person to enter the store. As word spread, more and more customers participated, and Rosa's wall blossomed with colorful notes signifying acts of kindness and a guaranteed slice for everyone who walked in, regardless of their ability to pay. Since that first pay-it-forward slice, Rosas provided nearly 70,000 pizza slices to needy Philadelphians. And it had a remarkable impact on the community, showing not only that acts of kindness can be contagious, but also how a small gesture of support can have a ripple effect of positivity. If one small business acting as a hub of kindness can have this kind of effect, can you imagine the possibilities of entire communities of consumers and businesses doing the same thing? In the wisdom of our Jewish heritage, we invoke blessings both before and after we eat a meal. For some, this is routine, and for others, the ritual is still in progress. Let me know if you'd like a copy of the text of the blessings. Rabbi Daniel or I would be happy to provide them for you. Mindful eating, after all, elevates the act of sharing a meal to one of holy partnership with God. The blessing after a meal, known as Birkat HaMazon, we'll come back to that word mazon in a minute, includes the words Ve'achalta, V'savata, V'verachta. You will eat, you will be satisfied, and you will bless. How better to bless what we have taken into our bodies than by praying with our hands and feet, by giving back. Pick up a paper shopping bag on your way out tonight and fill it with non-perishable foods. Bring it back either tomorrow or in the week ahead, and we will make sure that your donation reaches our local Pathways of Hope, a Fullerton-based organization that, besides providing temporary shelter, offers over 100,000 meals and thousands of pounds of food every year. Through the Food Distribution and Resource Center, households can choose the food that best meets their nutritional health needs from a variety of options. Last year alone, more than 5,000 people, including 4,000 children, faced food insecurity and received nutritious meals through Pathways. On a national level, one of the best-known Jewish organizations that helps to feed those in need is called Mazon. Founded in 1985, Mazon has been committed to ensuring that vulnerable people have access to the resources they need to put food on the table. Mazon is a leading voice in the anti-hunger field, developing strategic initiatives focused on communities that are at particular risk of hunger and have often been overlooked. Mazon began by building relationships with rabbis and synagogues across the country, encouraging them to donate a portion of the cost of life cycle celebrations such as weddings, bar and bat mitzvahs, anniversaries, and other joyous occasions. This served as a modern interpretation of the ancient rabbinical tradition of not allowing a celebration to begin until the community's poor and hungry were seated and fed. American Jews responded to the call to action, and in so doing, validated the importance of a Jewish response to hunger. As part of our annual TBT High Holy Day food campaign, you will find an envelope in your bag with which you can participate in this drive as well. So why fast on Yom Kippur? One of the reasons cited by our sources is as an act of solidarity with the suffering of those in need. Through fasting, we are drawn closer to all who live lives of deprivation. Our tradition, our faith demands more of us than 24 hours of abstinence from food. It demands that upon the completion of our fast, we will turn back to the world prepared to act with love and compassion. In this way, fasting touches the biological as well as the spiritual needs and aspects of our being. Now I want to turn to intellectual hunger. Lena was raised by a devout Catholic mother who, it turns out, was only Catholic because her stepfather was. Her mother didn't know her biological father, not even his name. This would play an important role in her later years. She attended church every Saturday evening, where she also had her confirmation, first confession, and wedding. Her children were baptized Catholic, and life was what it was supposed to be, or so she thought. From an early age, she questioned the beliefs of the church. Her mother always replied, "You don't question God," which made her question even more. She felt that she didn't have a relationship with God, only the church did. Their children were raised Christian because that's what you do. This Southern Baptist and Catholic couple joined a church and found the congregation to be comfortable. The priest was approachable, and Lena felt like she could ask him everything. It was then that she started verbally expressing her true concerns over what she was taught to believe. "What if Christians are wrong?" she asked her husband. Though he couldn't answer, he bought Lena a new Bible that contained both the Hebrew scriptures and the New Testament, with a lovely inscription that read in part, "I hope you find what you're looking for." This was a turning point. She became fascinated with what Jews call the Tanakh and started to study. It was around this time that DNA testing came out, and not knowing her biological roots, Lena was excited to find out who she actually was. In her words, "It's a strange existence to not know who you are, where your family came from, or even family names." She tested along with her mom, sister, and a few cousins, and the results showed, not surprisingly, that her mother was 50% Eastern European, Ashkenazi Jewish. Then came thousands of cousins, some with an undeniable resemblance to her. Suddenly, things started falling into place, and she felt like she belonged to them. They were her people. After 2 years of research, she was discovering information to fill in the puzzle of her Jewish ancestry. She began to embrace this part of her ethnicity with pride, passion, and a whole new meaning for life. But could she really abandon her past religion? Then COVID hit, and she found she had time to spare. She found an Introduction to Judaism course online and thought, why not take the opportunity to educate myself? She loved studying, downloading apps for Torah, and attempting to learn Hebrew. And even though the world seemed to be crashing in around her, she couldn't have been more content than the time she spent studying. The accessibility to knowledge opened up new doors everywhere she turned. And at the end of this past August, I was honored to be part of the Beit Din, the court of judges that celebrated her formal entry into the Jewish people. Each time I participate in a Beit Din, I am thrilled at the enthusiasm of those who seek to satisfy their hunger for knowledge using Judaism as a backdrop. For many, they have devoted a minimum of a year in their journey from the first words of a Jewish text to the time they go before the Beit Din. The devotion to study that they share with us is intentional and powerful, and we know it is a mere beginning of the continued quest for knowledge that they will continue to build. The greatest challenge the Jewish community faces and has faced for generations is how to create an educational path for our youth so that they will want to make Jewish education a lifelong endeavor. It certainly is part of TBT's goal, beginning with our school building's name of the ASA Center for Lifelong Jewish Learning. Think about how much you learned if you attended religious school when you were a child. Using our own model of Jewish education at TBT, here is how much time you spent learning. If you attended religious school, grades K through 10, by the time you finished, you would have spent a grand total of 1,200 hours. Our curriculum, not unlike others around the country or the world, contain a multitude of subjects from holidays to customs or the world, containing from Bible to the other literatures that come to the basis of our Jewish identities. The list is far from exhaustive, and how prepared would you feel at the end of a mere 1,200 hours to represent Judaism to the outside world? We barely scratch the surface in providing a substantial foundation with which to feel securely grounded in Judaism. But hopefully, we create a hunger to know more. Without the structure of a continual Jewish educational framework, life starts to happen. College, careers, family, and discretionary time eat away at our ability to devote time for Jewish enrichment. Our Mishnah says, "Do not say, 'When I have free time, I will study,' for perhaps you will never have free time." We have the best of intentions, but most of the time it just doesn't happen. The solution? Look for a question or an area within Judaism about which you are curious. When you're curious about something, you won't be satisfied until you learn the answer. The brain needs to be fed just like you would feed your stomach to squelch the cravings. If you are curious about something Jewish, chances are there is someone else with that same hunger for knowledge. Ask a question. Find a study partner for the moment or for the long run. Our tradition teaches, make for yourself a teacher and acquire a friend. What better way to make TBT your center for lifelong Jewish learning and friendship? And now, spiritual hunger. This was my favorite book growing up. Some of you may have this in your collection. The Golden Bible, copyright 1946. Working my way from Genesis through the other books of the Old Testament and then back to the beginning, I was attracted as a child to the text as much as I was the illustrations. The one page that I would stare at repeatedly was page 9. This one. Showing the 7 days of creation with the white-haired, bearded depiction of God at the center. And then the image of God taking his Shabbos nap down in the corner. That image of God remained with me throughout my childhood. That's what God looked like. Years passed, and I was sitting in my 8th grade classroom. We were talking about theology and the many faces of God. All of a sudden, it hit me. I'm a slow learner. The God I had carried with me all these years wasn't what God looked like or what God really was. But what was God? I was thrown into a tailspin, feeling lost and without an anchor. If I couldn't believe in that God, then I didn't have a God to believe in. Enter the college years, and I was living with my best friend. She was and continues to be affiliated with the Jewish humanistic movement, but she believed in God. I was affiliated with the Reformed Jewish movement, but labeled myself as an atheist, or at best, an agnostic. Fast forward another few years. September 1st, 1982, 5:09 a.m. With lights shining more brightly than the noon sun, a baby, my daughter, emerged into the outside world. My very first thought upon seeing her was, that's what God is. And that was my return of a belief to a power higher than myself. My hunger for spirituality lasted years. I had learned Judaism, studied Judaism through high school, and had pursued my undergraduate degree in religion. And yet, what was missing through it all was the encounter with God. In my years as serving as an educator, as a synagogue administrator, as an engagement professional, and now as a rabbi, I find that the majority of Jews have a fear of stepping into the synagogue, and even more so, have a fear of starting an adult education class because we are afraid we don't know enough. We want to feel spiritual, but we are reluctant to attach that spirituality to the roots that gave life to that spirituality. And then we are surprised when we discover that the beliefs we have are actually Jewish in their origins. Did you know that Judaism believes in angels? Remember that Bible story that has Abraham sitting outside the tent and three beings come walking towards him? Those are angels. Remember the Shabbat song? Shalom Alechem Malachei HaSharet. Welcome, Sabbath angels, angels of peace. And did you know that Judaism believes in an afterlife? Texts from every era in Jewish life identify a world where people go when they die. In the Bible, it's an underworld called Sheol. In the rabbinic tradition, it's known by a number of names, including the Yeshiva Shel Mala, the school on high. There's your opportunity to learn, but you can do it before you die. Do it now. So learning goes beyond this world. The Hebrew word for skies, shamayim, also came to refer as heaven. And heaven has an open door policy. It's not a gated community. The righteous of any people and any faith have a place in it. Our actions, not our specific beliefs, determine our fate. And that brings us to this day of Yom Kippur, the day on which our actions are brought before the heavenly court. The way we have lived our life over the past year, in our dealings with ourselves, our family, our friends, and all of humanity, constitute our cheshbon hanefesh, the inventory of our soul. How have we dealt with the hunger in our lives? Physical hunger leads us to nourish ourselves, to add the elements that allow the millions of pieces of this machine called our bodies to function efficiently. We are reminded of the importance of this in our morning prayers as we read, if one of our openings were to wrongly open, or one of our closings were to be wrongly closed, it would be impossible to stand before you, God, and to give thanks. Beyond ourselves, have we fed the hungry in our midst, not passing judgment on the person at the entrance to the freeway, to the secular or religious holiday appeals we receive in the mail? Did we address our hunger for knowledge, giving our minds a regular mental workout, going beyond Facebook and Instagram and TikTok to expand our knowledge of the universe? Research shows that our brain needs stimulation on a regular basis, and to gain information brings inspiration. And inspiration adds quality and quantity to our days. Remember being asked as a child at the dinner table, what did you learn today? Ask yourself that question, and even better, frame your day around that quest for knowledge. Lastly, think about how you can take the intensity of what we feel on this holiest of days, this Yom Kippur, into the rest of the year. Judaism uses the Hebrew keva for the practice of praying. It is the routine of going through the words at times that are predetermined. Kavanah, on the other hand, means that one's prayers come from the heart, giving intention and meaning to the words. We call upon that kavanah on this day to fill our vial for a spiritual dab here and there throughout the year. But in truth, thinking that one dose of this can curb your hunger throughout the year is like attempting to visit an all-you-can-eat buffet and gorge to the point of feeling numb. It seldom sustains us beyond the immediate experience and often leaves us feeling empty after a short time. So it is with our Jewish experience. The synagogue serves three purposes. We are a Beit Tefillah, a house of prayer. You are invited to enter the space of worship throughout the year, in person or virtually on Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube. All are welcome. We are also a Beit Midrash, a house of learning. Whether studying formally in our Saturday Torah study or another class like our Seekers, whether child or adult, not a day goes by without there being an opportunity to learn something new. And we are a Beit Knesset, a place to gather. Above the doors of our sanctuary outside are two Hebrew letters that denote the words Kehillah Kedoshah, a holy community. We are your extended family, and we are here for you. And the we I speak of is not just our clergy, our board of directors, or our staff. Each of us deserves to feel like we are welcome and included, and to be the one who welcomes and includes others. The smile of acknowledgement or a word of encouragement to enter the doors of this Kehillah Kedoshah, this holy community, is more than walking into a building. It is being welcomed into the heart of our congregation, which extends beyond these four walls. If you are feeling the hunger that comes with this day of Yom Kippur as a way of teshuvah, of returning, you are in the right place. Hashkiveinu elecha v'nashuva chadesh yameinu kekedem. In this time of renewal, personally and beyond, fill your body, fill your mind, and fill your spirituality with all that Judaism offers today and throughout the year ahead. Gemar Chatima Tova, may we each be sealed for a year of good health and blessings. Amen.
Ugh.
Where do we go from here? Greetings. Mike Bell. Greetings on behalf of everyone. Mike Bell, would you like to greet the congregation? You are, after all, our fearless leader. Michael Bell, president of Temple Beth Tikvah, House of Hope. Please.
Consider yourselves greeted.
Here, try that, if it works.
Still consider yourselves greeted. Welcome to Temple Beth Tikvah and our Col Nidre service. I'd like to thank all of our clergy, Miriam and Gabrielle, and our musicians. And notice we have our choir up here. Thank you very much for coming back. And everyone who's helped to make these services possible. Cantor Shannon. I also have a few announcements. First, you'll see on your chairs there are some yellow cards. If you haven't filled one of these out already, please do. Drop it in the box that will be out on the table out there. Please, as Rabbi Miriam mentioned earlier, please take a bag that's out on the table out there to bring back groceries and non-perishable foods for donation to Pathways of Hope. And we also have a few announcements of upcoming events. So tomorrow morning services begin at 9 a.m. There's a preschool service at 9 a.m. and a youth service at 9 a.m. The family Yom Kippur service is at 11 a.m. And the Yitzchor service at 4:30 p.m.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock p.m. I'm just following what I've got written here. And Mitch Goldberg will be leading a discussion tomorrow afternoon. Ne'ilah service begins at 5:30. And just a couple of upcoming events. On Sunday, the 9th of this month, the Men's Club will have a joke breakfast at 10:30 a.m. with the entertainment of Steve Middleman, a professional comedian. And each attendee who has paid their dues will receive a Men's Club t-shirt. Later at 5 p.m. that same day, we'll have a Sukkot potluck dinner. And Sisterhood in the Sukkah will be on the 11th of October at 6 p.m. There were some places that said 5 p.m., but it is 6 p.m. And please reserve by October 7th. On the 16th, Simchat Torah pasta dinner and celebration of Simchat Torah at 5 p.m. I'd like to thank you once again for coming and wish all of you be written in the Book of Life, L'Shana Tova Tikatevu V'Tikame.
Thank you. Our service continues on page 116. We rise as the ark is opened for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשינו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
You may be seated. Our thoughts turn to loved ones whom death has taken from us in recent days and those who died at this season in years past. Our hearts open as well to the wider circles of loss in our community and wherever grief touches the human family. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing in this new year and always. If you are in the Shiva period, the first 7 days of mourning, I invite you to rise and mention the name of your loved one. If you are in the Shloshim period, the first 30 days, I invite you to rise and mention the name of your loved one. And if you are in the first year of mourning, I invite you to rise and share the name of your loved one.
My mom, Joy Kaiser.
I'm remembering Jonathan Kaysen.
If you're observing a yard site this week, I invite you to rise and mention the name of your loved one. And are there those who have written names into the chat box?
Daniel Moss, Stephen Mark Richter, Frank Varela, Dana Neary, Jonathan Kazin, Randy Sostock, and Sean Vile.
Thank you. If it is your custom to rise for the Kaddish Yatom, for the mourner's Kaddish, I invite you to do so and join us on page 122 as we join our mourners.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divarach hiruteh, v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'yimru, Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu le'ela u'le'ela mikol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya B'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom v'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru Amen.
May the one who sends peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved among us. And we say, Amen.
Amen.
I invite you to rise as we close our service for this evening. Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu, God of our ancestors, God of the past, present, and future, we pray in the words of our ancestors, words that are true for us as well. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless us and keep us. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God's face shine upon us and be gracious to us. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lachem shalom. May God's face shine upon us and grant us the greatest of all gifts, the gift of peace. Shalom. Gemar Chatima Tova. We close with I'm missing something. Help me out, Gabrielle.
So, Gemar Chatima Tova, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Gamar Chatima Tova.